In the previous video, we have seen which tools we are going to use in this series, and in this video, we are going to start writing our code for this website. But before we start writing our code, we have to learn few things about how HTML works as well as how browsers work. So starting with browsers, they work in a very simple way. So whenever you search for something in the browser makes a request to your search engine server. In my case, it's Google. So my Chrome will send a request with GitHub in its content, and it will send to Google server. And Google server will search everything in its database about this GitHub, and it will return a response which is related to your search. In my case, it is GitHub. So it basically returns either a HTML document or some JSON data which will be converted into HTML, and it will build this page which is basically everything about GitHub. So everything we see is GitHub. So, and this is how browsers work in a simple way. Coming to the HTML is a markup language which does not include any logic, and whatever you write in the HTML file, it will be rendered in the browser. For example, if I type hello world in a HTML file, it will simply the browser will simply render it. So let's create index.html file and let's see how it works. So I created an index.html file, and if I write hello world in here, and if I if I click on go live, now it will open a page in our browser, and we can see that we have hello world text in the browser. So if I remove world, live server should automatically reload it. But why it's not reloading is because live server it will inject a piece of code inside the head tag in your HTML file, but we didn't use any tags so far, which will automatically fails live server to load the page automatically. So this is actually how the HTML works. So whatever you write in your HTML file, the browser will simply render it. But now there is no styling at all. Like we cannot make this hello bigger or smaller, or we cannot change font size, font family, or anything. So this is why HTML has something called tags. So what are tags? If you're wondering what these tags are like blocks which contains the content of our website. For example, if I write body, so this is the body where we write the content. For example, if I write hello world, it still won't reload automatically because there is we didn't write any head tags yet. So if I reload, we have this hello world. So if I write something like style font size 20 pt, now we have font size of 20 pt. So this is how we write code. This is how we write the tags and the content inside our tags. So there are a lot of tags in HTML, like a lot, and the new tags keep on adding to this HTML. So basic tags we're gonna use for any HTML file is simply you don't really need to write everything. You can simply type doc, and it will show you all this suggestion in the VS Code, and if you click enter, it will write for you automatically. And now if I see this, we have HTML tag which will wrap all the HTML data of your web page. For example, head, body, and head contains all of your web page details like title of your web page and meta content of your web page. And if you want to link any CSS or scripts, you can include them in the head tag. And the body tag is where we write all our content of the web page. So now it will auto reload if I have to reload it now. And if I write something like HTML is good, now it will auto reload in our browser. We don't really need to go to the browser and reload every time we save the file. So I'm going to remove this, and this is how the structure will look like in this HTML file. And in the head tag, we have something like meta tags too. We don't really need this unless we are going for responsive, and we will see that in the later videos. And this title tag here, which will say about the title of our HTML page. For example, now if you see this, we have document in the top as a page title. So we change this to my blog, then it will change to my blog. So title tag is used to set the title of your web page, and this title tag should go into head tag only. We cannot put this in a body tag. But whenever we are linking a CSS file or a script file, we can still link them inside the body tag. So this is how this is the basic tags we have to use in almost every HTML file. And there is another tag which is called as doc type HTML. So this particular tag will say that we are using HTML5 version, and the HTML5 is the latest version available in the internet. But this is not really that necessary for a beginner's project, so we can include this, or we can actually remove this. It doesn't matter really. So I'm going to remove it, and then this is the codes, and there is a structure for codes, like where we have a rule where we have to use a opening bracket and closing bracket for a block of code in language like C or C++. The same way we have something called opening tags and closing tags in HTML. So how opening tag, what's the opening tag is, if you see the body here, this tag is an opening tag and this is a closing tag. So an opening tag will, to write an opening tag, we have to start with less than symbol, and then we write something like, if I want to create a paragraph, then I can simply write T, and then when I click greater than, or the VS Code will automatically put the closing tag right after you create an opening tag. So now whatever I write here, again hello, and this is the P tag. So this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. So the difference between open tag and closing tag is really only one character, and it is /. And every opening tag doesn't really have a closing tag. For example, if I click on image, it doesn't really have a closing tag, and the same goes for input and some other tags which doesn't really have. If I click on input, it doesn't have any closing tags. So not all tags have a closing tag, but few have closing tags. And every closing, if you write a closing tag, that means there is a opening tag for it. Now as we know that HTML works on tags, let's create some tags and let's see how they look in the browser. So the first tag we will try is heading tag, which we can define it as h1. And if I write something like, this is a heading, and we can see that in the browser we can see that we got a beautiful heading. Don't really need to style it anymore. And if I write h2, this is also a heading, but with a little bit of heading. This is also used as heading, but the font size is a little bit decreased. So now we have from h1 to h6, so h3, same thing. I'm just gonna copy paste this, copy and paste. We have h4, we have h5, we have h6. There we go. The heading tag we have is from h1 to h6, which decreases by going from 1 to 6. And the thing that decreases is font size. I'm going to leave h1 as it is, and I will change this content to my blog. And then now we can write something like our introduction, like I'm going to generate some text. So if you're wondering what this lorem ipsum text is, it's basically a demo text we can use for debugging purpose of in anything. Like for example, in HTML, I'm just gonna copy this. We actually have to generate it here, but it doesn't matter. Now if I write something like, if I copy paste this, I can see that it just appears here. But in your project, you can write your introduction, your about me, your paragraph, or whatever you want to write there. So I'm gonna write it in a paragraph section. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a paragraph with p tag, and I'm gonna paste this, and there you go. This is our paragraph now. So if you're wondering why I'm using paragraph first, I can also write as simply as this without any tags, and I can just save it, and it doesn't really matter much. So but if I write another tag, another content, like for example if I copy paste the same text, we will see that it continues. It won't render like another paragraph, but it will continue from where the previous text stopped. To avoid this, what we do is we will write it in a p tag, inside a p tag, which stands for paragraph. So that's the whole point of having a paragraph, right? So we will have line breaks for every paragraph. So if you're wondering what the shortcut is for this, it's basically you can hold the control and shift, and then you can press the down arrow to select all these texts, and then you click on alt and up arrow to move the text. In my case, my keyboard's up arrow is not working, so I'm using number pad. So if I click on alt and if I click on it will just simply pushes all the selection to the upper or lower. Alright, so so this is how we can use the p tag. Like whenever we want to write some paragraph, we can use p tag, and p tags will break the content in your web page. So if I remove this, I'm going to remove this p tag, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply put another tag like, oh my god, okay, I messed up. Now I'm going to put some PR tag. So what PR tag does is it does the same thing as paragraph, but PR tag simply adds only single line break. Yes, it is a line break. Like when I click on enter in our notepad or something else, it will simply add a line break to all the content. But what p tag does is p tag basically adds few things like margins and stuff for our content. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to create another p tag, and then I'm going to delete this. I don't need this one. And then I'm going to go up, okay. I'm going to go here and copy paste. And now we can see that we have a little line break, another line break here, but we didn't achieve the line break when we use PR tag. So that is why we use p tags basically. So let's create a simple about me. I don't have anything to see in this here, so I will just use this lorem ipsum text here. But in your case, you can write your about me, like something like your name and what you're doing, what you're studying, or your qualifications, or anything else. So this is p tag, and if you want to wrap this both heading as well as p, we can use something block type elements like div or something like section or anything. I'm gonna use div for now, and I'm gonna cut all the things like heading and paragraph, and I'm gonna paste it inside div. Now this is in a wrapper, in a single div. Whenever we want to style both of them, we can simply go for div and we can style it. So this is actually a simple understanding and simple way on saying how you can write tags and content of your website, of your web page or website. We have seen a few tags like H1 to H6 and P and BR and div. There are a lot of other tags in the same way, which are basically there is something called span, there is something called we have already seen div. So we have span, we have P, we have B, we have I. B is for bold text and I is for italic style of text, and we have A for links, etc. There are a lot of tags we can use in our HTML file. And if I keep on going, I can go, but I don't want to put a lot of information into your drawings just now. So this is it for this video. In the next video, we're going to style these elements and we're going to proceed with further information, and yeah, that's it. Let's meet in the next video.